very good evening to you out there, and you are live on Omi Television and you are watching the Flash News. My name is Abigail Kotoshi. Now to our story. Director for Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative Africa, Mina Mensah, has called on the judiciary of the state to review the Act on Petty Offenders. Disclosing this at a stakeholders roundtable discussion, she explained that it will go a long way to reduce prison congestion as some petty offenses can be charged to a fine. Legal practitioner Nahaja Adam also shared her thoughts on the negative effect the petty offenses will continue to have if not reviewed.
Right. That is one of the reasons why the state makes room for alternative dispute resolution, ADR. This whole program is about ADR. There are certain cases when they go to court, especially civil cases, the judge would say that, okay, I've looked at the case, and the way it is, I want the two parties to take the case out of court and then go and settle it. When they go and settle it, they come back to the court and then they report that, okay, we sat down, we talked about it, and this is the resolution or the agreement that we have come to. It happens in the court, especially for civil cases, and there's an act that backs that. But for criminal cases, although there's space in the law for that to happen, it doesn't happen as often as we expect it to happen. So you see that somebody has gone to steal maybe something worth about 500 Ghana cedis. The person is sent to court. The person is fined. Normally, sometimes they'll give you the same fine as the amount or slightly higher. A lot of times, the person is not able to pay that fine, and then they will sentence you to a jail term. So you have to go to jail because you couldn't pay the fine. What we are saying is that since ADR already exists and there's even court-directed ADR, how do we encourage judges or the system to use the same mechanism for minor criminal offenses? So that if you come and steal my 500 Ghana cedis, we sit down, you admit that you stole it, and then we sit, okay, I agree that I will pay you the amount of money. So these are the terms for my paying the money. And then we settle it there. We can report back to the court so that the court will also know that at the right time, when the time lapses, you can come and say that, oh, yes, we settled it. And the person has paid. We are promoting that instead of sending the person to jail for 500 cedis. However, when the person goes to the jail for the 500 cedis, the victim does not get anything. Apart from that, the state spends money to feed that person who is in jail. If the person is also working, when the person comes out, maybe the person would have lost the job. Do you understand? So we are saying that it's an alternative dispute resolution. Normally, if it's civil cases, it's somebody against the other. But for criminal cases, it's the state against the offender. So we are having a conversation and finding out how we can encourage more victim-offender engagement so that a lot of our minor offenses do not go to the court system and choke our courts and then invariably choke our prisons, because then people would have been able to settle their issues through ADR. Restitution would have been made to the victim, and then cohesion in society would go. So that is why we are promoting this ADR in criminal justice.
So this is a USA Justice Sector Support Program that's funded by the USA. So the purpose of this program is to start creating awareness and to also advocate for a change in the review in our laws to make sure that petty or minor offenses such as loitering, assault and all those little offenses are not subjected to custodial sentencing but are resolved through ADR as a way of making sure that no, there's no such thing as a Petty Offences Act. What we have, however, is the Criminal Offences Act, which classifies offences, whether something is a misdemeanor, whether it's a felony. So yes, we did a research and we brought out the findings which show that most of our petty offences are offences that are misdemeanors. So the loitering that I gave you, all those are misdemeanors. The loitering, the assault, all those things are misdemeanors. And by the legal classification of things, misdemeanors are are offenses that are minute or they are small in nature. They are not serious like murder and other things which are felonies. Exactly. So the purpose of this is to subject petty offenses or minor offenses to ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution, like the speaker spoke about victim offender mediation, to ensure that they don't go through the justice system in a manner. So currently under our laws, as the speaker discussed, stealing is not a misdemeanor, it's a felony. So an offense like stealing is not something that will be within the remit of a petty offense. So the examples I gave you of misdemeanors are loitering, people sleeping on the street. Those are the misdemeanors. Those are the petty offenses. So as you can see, these are not matters that people should be taken to jail for. But currently, what we see is that people are in jail for some of these very, very minor offenses that don't harm the state, and it's just between two people. For example, assault, something like assault. The parties can just talk about it, and then it can be resolved without anybody having to go through the entire justice system. So that was the.
Now, away from that, a blessed birthday to you, Joel Ampoma Tutu. Wishing you God's blessings and prosperity. Thus coming from your mom, Letitia, and the kids at home. May the good Lord bless you and expand your territory. That will be all for Flash News. My name is Abigail Kotoshi. Thanks for watching.
From sports, politics, entertainment to the minute detail of every news story, News Arena has got you covered.
We break the various pressing issues that are making headlines in your community.
Tuesdays and Thursdays on News Arena, I bring you the top trends in showbiz. Join me, Abigail.